Hey, what's Rive Breezy here with a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist deck. Today we're playing Dinosaurs with a mix of True King. So, first we're doing a deck breakdown, and then we've got two PvP duels afterwards to show off this deck. Let's get into our deck breakdown. If there's any deck that you want to see in the future, let me know. And first card we have is one copy of Artifact Lancia. You can set this card from your hand into the spell and trap zone, and during your opponent's turn, if this card is destroyed, you get to special summon it. Or alternatively, you can discard this card from your hand, and basically your opponent cannot banish cards for the rest of their turn. Next, we have two copies of Baby Sarahsaurus. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the grave, you get to special summon one level 4 or lower dinosaur monster from the deck. But it has to be destroyed by card effect specifically. Next, we have one copy of DD Crow, which discard this card from your hand, target one card in your opponent's graveyard, and banish it. Next we have Dino Wrestler Pankratops, which is limited to one copy. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. And as a quick effect, you can tribute itself. Since we're not running any other Dino Wrestlers, it tributes itself and targets one card your opponent controls and destroys it. Next we have Doggeran the Mad Flame Kaiju. Also a dinosaur, that's why he's here. Basically, you special summon this guy to your opponent's field by attributing one of their monsters. And basically, I hope your opponent isn't running kaijus and you won't have to worry about any of its effects. Basically, you tribute this guy onto one of your opponent's monsters to just get rid of one of their monsters that you're having a hard time getting rid of. But alternatively, this man has 3,000 attack, so one copy of Fossil Dino Pachycephalo, which is if this card is flipped face up, destroy all special summon monsters on the field, and neither player can special summon monsters. Very useful. I have not actually got to use it yet. It's relatively new to this deck. I took out Tyranno Infinity. Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit, we've got two copies of when a monster effect is activated or a spell or trap that it was already face up is activated again. You can discard this card and negate and destroy it. Two copies of Giant Rex, which is just a 2000 dinosaur. It can't attack directly. If this card is banished, you get to special summon it, and if you do, it gains an additional 200 for each banished dino. Next we have Gizmek Kaku, the Supreme Shining Sky Stag, which if your opponent or you has a monster in the extra monster zone in the middle, you get to special summon it. And his effect is you can target one face-up monster in the extra monster zone, equip that face-up monster to this card. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon one monster card equipped to this card. Like, for your side? That's pretty dang good. I thought this card was terrible. 3 copies of Miscellaneousaurus. During either player's main phase, you can discard this card from your hand, and all your dinosaur type monsters are unaffected by opponent's card effects. Alternatively, when this card is in your graveyard, you can banish dinosaurs. You banish dinosaurs in your grave, and the amount, like say you banish 4 dinosaurs in your grave, you get to special summon out a level 4 dinosaur from your deck. If you banish 2 dinosaurs, a level 2 dinosaur from your deck. But mostly we have level 4s and 2s, and then it jumps up to like 8 or 7. You're probably not going to banish that many. There's not that many in the deck. Here we have Overtech Quaddulus, which can't be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by shuffling 5 banished dinos in your main deck, and once per turn during your opponent activates a spell or trap. Quick effect, destroy 1 monster in your hand, and if you do, negate the activation, but if you do that, destroy this card. It's very good at destroying cards like in your hand, like Baby Sarahsaurus, which need to be destroyed by card effect, or Petite Tyranno. But anyway, yeah, I use this card for another effect of when this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add an evolution pill from your deck to your hand. So I'll go over the combo afterwards. One copy of Petite Tyranno. If this card is destroyed by a card effect or sent to the grave, special summon 1 level 4 or higher monster from your deck, but it can't attack this turn. So this one is level 4 or higher, and this one's level 4 or lower. Next we have 1 copy of Souleating Oviraptor, probably your best dino, but in this game it is limited to 1. Unfortunate, because I think in real life it's unlimited. So if this card is normal or special summoned, take 1 dinosaur monster from your deck, add it to your hand, or send it to the grave. You can target 1 other level 4 dino monster on the field, destroy it, then special summon 1 dino from your grave in defense position. Big mouthful. When I normal summon this guy, I send Overtech Kodalas to the grave, grab the evolution pill from my deck, and then I go into the big boss monster, which we haven't got to yet. Next up is True King Agnemazrad, the Vanisher. If this card is in your hand, you can destroy 2 other monsters in your hand or field, including a fire monster. It has to have at least 1 fire monster. And if you do, special summon this card. If you do that, you can banish 1 monster from your opponent's graveyard, field or graveyard if both the monsters you attributed were fire. So if you banish 1, you can special summon it. If you banish 2, you gain the effect of banishing another monster. And if this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can add a non-fire wire monster from your grave to your hand, which will basically be True King Lazarbergem, the Disaster. If this card is in your hand, you can destroy 2 other face-up monsters, including an Earth monster. And if you do, special summon it. If you destroy 2 Earth monsters, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 monsters from it with different names. If this card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon 1 non-Earth monster from your great wire monster. And our last dino is Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He's our boss monster in this deck, running 2 copies of him. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by banishing 2 dinos from your grave. Once per turn during either player's main phase, you can destroy 1 monster in your hand or field. Perfect to destroy Petite Tyranno or Baby Sarahsaurus. And if you do, change all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face down position. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once, and at the start of the damage step, if your opponent attacks a defense position monster, you automatically inflict 1000 damage to your opponent and destroy that monster. So you use this effect to put all your opponent's monsters face down, and then you just attack each one, deal 1000 for each one, and destroy them all. Here's double evolution pill. Banish a dinosaur monster and 1 non-dinosaur monster from your grave. Special summon a level 7 or higher dino from your deck or hand, ignoring its summoning positions. That's how you get out, big boy. Here's a field spell. We're running a bunch of field spells, you'll see. All true Draco and true King monsters on the field gain 300 attack or defense, and each team The first time each tribute summon True Draco or True King monster would be destroyed by battle, it is not. Once per turn, destroy one other card you control in your hand, and you can destroy one other card you control in your hand, and if you do, add a True Draco, True King from your deck. Another good way to destroy your Petite Pteranodon and Baby Sarahsaurus. Foolish Burial, send a monster from your deck to the grave. Another good way to get rid of Overattack. 2 copies of Fossil Deck, add a level 6 or lower Dinosaur monster from deck to the hand. 3 copies of our field spell Lost World. All monsters on the field lose 500 attack defense except for dinosaurs. Once per turn, if a dinosaur is normal summoned or special summoned onto the field, you special summon a token onto your opponent's field. In defense position. While your opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects except for tokens. Once per turn, if a normal monster on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy that many Dinos monsters in your hand or deck instead. So basically, if you have a normal dinosaur monster on the field, it gets destroyed by battle, you can destroy dino monsters from your deck. Another good way to destroy Petite Pteranodon and Baby Sarahsaurus. I might put a normal monster in here before our episode, who knows, that's a pretty good effect. 1 copy of Mystical Mine. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, and your opponent cannot activate monster effect or declare an attack. But if you control more monsters than your opponent, you can't attack and you can't declare monster effects. Once per turn during the end phase, if both players have an equal number of monsters, destroy Mystical Mine. 1 copy Set Rotation, Quick Play spell. Set 2 field spells with different names from your deck onto the field. 1 on your side of the field, and then you give your opponent a field spell. While either of these cards remain set on the field, neither player can activate or set other field spells. So basically, you give them a terrible field spell. You could give them Lost World. Make their dinos make them lose 500, and every time a dino monster is activated, you get a token. I've never used that strat before. That's pretty darn good. I just thought of that. Or you can give them a Draconic Diagram, boost up your monsters, and they can't destroy it. Lastly, we have a copy of Terraforming to search out your field spells. Okay, for our traps, we have 3 copies of Evenly Matched. At the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish cards up to the enough. Banish cards from their field face down, so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this from your hand. Lastly, 1 copy of Survival of the Fittest. Target a dinosaur monster you control, equip this card, and it gains 1000 attack. And when the attacking monster destroys an opponent's card by battle or grave, and sends it to the grave, the attacking monster can make a second attack. Moving on to the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. Requires 2 level 4 monsters, and once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card. Your opponent cannot activate card effects in their grave this turn. We have 2 copies of Evilzar Dolka, which is required 2 level 4 dino monsters during either player's turn. When a monster effect activates, detach Xyz material from this card, negate the activation, and destroy it. Now we have Evilzar Lagia, 2 level 4 dino monsters. During either player's turn, when a monster would be normal summoned or special summoned, or a spell or trap is activated, detach 2 Xyz materials from this card, negate the summon or activation. If you do, destroy that card. So some decent negation for dino monsters. Here we have number 60, Dugara's the Timeless, level 4 monsters. Detach 2 materials from this card to activate one of these effects. Skip your next draw phase, also draw 2 cards and discard a card. Or skip your next main phase, also special summon a monster from your grave, and in defense position, or skip the battle phase of your next turn and double the attack of one of your monsters you control until the end of this turn. You can only activate once per turn. Here we have 2 copies of True King of All Calamities, 2 level 9 or higher monsters, or 2 plus level 9 monsters. Once per turn, quick effect, detach material from this card, declare an attribute. This turn, all face-up monsters on the field become that attribute, and also all monsters in your opponent's possession with that attribute cannot activate their effects or attack. Monsters that True King of True Draco and all True King monsters in your hand would be destroyed by effects can be chosen from your opponent's field. What does that mean? Also, all monsters in your opponent's possession. Monsters that True Draco and True King monsters in your hand would be destroyed with can be chosen from your opponent's field. Oh, okay, so say I wanted to summon this guy. I could, and to summon him you need 2 monsters, one being a fire and one being either a fire or something else. I get to choose from my opponent's monsters. I have the option to choose from my opponent's monsters. That's pretty darn good for those cards. A Link 4 monster here, Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. 2 or 4 monsters with different names except for tokens. You can only control 1 Appaloosa. The original attack of this card becomes 800 times the number of Link materials used for its summon. Once per chain, when your opponent monster activates a monster effect, you can make this card lose exactly 800 attack, and if you do, negate the activation. Next up is Borreload Dragon, 3 plus effect monsters. Either player can target this card with monster effects, and once per turn, you can target a card, make it lose 500 attack and defense, and your opponent cannot activate effects in response. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can take that opponent's monster and take control of it basically, but send it to the grave at the end of the next phase. Next we have Borreload Dragon, level Link 4 monster. Can't be destroyed by battle once per turn. You can target 1 attack position monster, change it to the defense position, and this card can make a second attack during that turn. During your opponent cannot activate cards in response to that effect. And once per turn, when this card effect declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can activate this effect until the end of the turn. This card gains attack equal to half of that monster's current attack. And if it does, that monster attack is halved. That's a mouthful. Basically, you can steal half of your opponent's monster effects and take them for 1 turn. And it also has the effect of being able to change battle positions and attack twice. Next up, Link 2 IP Masquerano. Uses 2 non-Link monsters. During your opponent's main phase, you can, quick effect, immediately after this resolve, Link summon a monster using materials to control, including this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. A Link monster that used this card as material cannot be destroyed by opponent card effect. Next up is Nightmare Phoenix, Link 2. This card is Link summoned. You can discard a card, then target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it. If this card was co-linked when its effect was activated, draw a card. You can only activate it once per turn. We have Nightmare Unicorn, 2 or plus monsters with different names. This card is Link summoned, discard a card, and target 1 card on the field, return it to the deck, and if this card was co-linked when the effect is activated, draw a card. You can only activate it once per turn, and while any co-linked nightmare monsters are in the field for a normal draw 1 card for each different card name along with co-linked nightmare monsters, instead of drawing 1 card. So you could possibly draw a lot more if you have a full board of nightmares during your draw phase. Here we have Link 4 Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. We have 2 or 4 special summon monsters from the extra deck. for requirement. When this card is link summoned, cards on the field cannot be targeted this card with card effects. Also, the monsters cannot target this monster for attacks except for this one. He's the only one that can be targeted for attack, but can't be targeted by card effect. Once per battle, during damage calculation, if this card battles a special summon monster, you can make this card gain attack equal to the opponent's monster attack during damage calculation only. If this link summoned would be sent to the grave during by an opponent's card, shuffle one card on the field to the deck. And lastly, we have Penta Stag, which is pretty darn cool in this deck. If your link monster attacks a defense position monster, attack, inflict piercing battle damage. So you link summon this guy out into the extra monster zones, and then you stick Ultimate Conductor Tyranno in a zone directly below this guy, and when he's attacking, all the face down monsters you got from activating his effect, and now they all have piercing damage, so you're inflicting 1,000 damage with his effect, and then you're putting piercing damage on top of this because of Penta Stag. Side deck, I just changed it. One copy of Megalo Smasher, which is just a 2000 normal monster, and as you see, we took out Artifact Lancia, stuck in a normal dinosaur monster, because reading this effect made me do it. Artifact Lancia is now in our side deck, along with Artifact Scythe, which you can set it in spell or trap zone. If it's destroyed, you can special summon it. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. Next we have Black Tyranno, a level 7 dino, which if the only cards your opponent controls are defense position monsters, you can attack directly. Not amazing, but I don't know. Another copy of DD Crow, a copy of Nibiru the Primal Being. During the main phase, if your opponent normal summons or special summons 5 or more monsters, you can tribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible and special summon this card onto your opponent's field and destroy them all. And then it gains attack and defense up to the number of monsters that you destroyed. We have Tyranno Infinity. The original attack of this card is the number of dinosaur cards banished times 1000. 3 copies Dark Ruler no more. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the end of the turn. Also for the rest of the turn, your opponent takes no damage. You can kind of clear their board, but they won't take any damage because of it. 2 copies Twin Twister. Discard a card, target 2 spell or traps, and destroy them. Artifact Sanctum. Special summon 1 artifact monster from your deck. You can only activate once per turn. You cannot conduct your battle phase turn you activate this card. And if this card is in its owner's possession, is destroyed by opponent's card. Target a card on the field, destroy it. Basically, you want to activate this guy, summon this guy out on your opponent's turn, and they can't special summon anything from their extra deck for that turn. So it's 2 cards to get your opponent one turn of no access to their extra deck. 1 copy of Fossil Excavation. I thought about adding this one in. Activate this card by discarding 1 card, then target 1 dino monster in your grave. Special summon that target. Negate the effects of that monster on the field. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. Good way to bring your monsters back if he's in the grave. 1 copy Red Reboot. When your opponent activates a trap card, negate the activation, and if you do, set that card face down. Then they set 1 other trap directly from their deck. The rest of this turn after this card activation, your opponent cannot activate trap cards. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. Oof. Anyway, that's our deck. And I just noticed our deck is 42 cards. I don't like that. Oh, that's why. I accidentally added Beat Raptor into the main deck instead of the side deck. Get rid of those, stick him back in the side deck. Anybody else not supposed to be there? This guy's not supposed to be there. So we have 2 more cards in our side deck. We have REX, another dinosaur, 1900 attack. If this card battles a monster in the extra zone, it gains 800 attack and defense during the damage step. And lastly, we have Oviraptor. Negate the effects of monsters in the extra monster zone while this card is in the main monster zone. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon out another Oviraptor from your deck. So it's got some kind of recursion effect. Now that's our deck. 40 cards, plain and simple now. I'll see you guys in our duels. See you there. Here we have I Look Sus. Ready to duel. Got a 4-card deck, 14 in the extra deck. As you can see, I'm now running 2 copies of Megalo Smasher. Took out a copy of my giant deer monster. I kept drawing into it and nobody was putting stuff in extra mod. Aromages! This is gonna be annoying, especially with no spell or traps. She draws an extra card. This deck can easily put up a whole bunch of life points if you don't pay attention. Laurel. If your life points are higher than your opponent, you can special summon this card from your hand. Target 1 non-tuner plant monster. It's treated as a tuner. Anyway, Link summons into Aromatherapy Jasmine. Your life points are higher than your opponent. This card or any plants cannot be destroyed by battle. Well, we're gonna have to change that now, aren't we? You contribute 1 monster card. This points to special summon 1 plant monster from your deck in defense position. Let's see here. I need to learn this deck because I want to build this deck. So we currently can't be destroyed by battle. Sucks. I need to get this guy in my grave. Don't know how. I've yet to draw Foolish Burial in all the games I've played today. Send Fossil Dig. He has Response, Joyous Springs. Oh boy. Let's see. No way we're getting over him currently. So we do this. We're gonna have to send Overtech to the grave. Activate his effect. Get some evolution pills popping. And we can discard Codalus and the True King in my hand to bring out Conductor Tyranno. Now we attack in so that we now have the life point advantage. And I believe that ends my turn. Man, that ain't good. She's gonna get a 500 point boost here when Aroma Garden activates. So that she's gonna have life point advantage again. Huh. Yep, plus 500. She's in the advantage now. Gains 500 attack points. Now plant monsters can't be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, if you gain life points, add one plant monster from your deck to your hand. This card is really darn good. What's he searching for? Jasmine. No, that's not Jasmine. I don't know what it is. There's another copy of Laurel. You don't really have a monster you can turn into a tuner, though. I like that. I like that. I can turn all his monsters face down anytime I want. I guess it's only during main phase. He's gonna link. Gonna chain Conductor Tyranno. I'm gonna destroy my baby Sarahsaurus in my hand and flip those laurels face down so they can't link. Baby Sarahsaurus pops, which allows me to special summon a giant Rex onto my field. We have the chance to pull off the Stag combo. I got two face downs. We have a chance to run this board with the Conductor Tyranno. He's going to tribute one monster the card points to special summon one card in defense position from his deck. As long as it's in defense position. You take no battle damage from attacks involving plant monsters. I'm going to attack you first. A plant monster you control is destroyed by battle. Leave my graveyard alone. Did we pop this too early? 800. Uh-oh. Gonna link again. I need those monsters in defense position. End your turn. No! Aromaswary Wheat Martharium. Your opponent cannot target plant monsters you control with card effects. Watch me target them with battle effects. We're about to lose 2 dinos though. Don't like that. Although if she does banish Giant Rex, he's gonna come back even stronger. I can flip this guy face down. She did take away our Stag strat. I am now unaffected by card effect. Target one face up your monster. He's got me. If I destroy a card on the field, this is gonna activate. It's gonna... I can get around it. Conductor Tyranno is going to destroy a Megalo Smasher. I can get around it with Miscellaneousaurus. I need to summon Megalo Smasher. I don't need to, but it's time to battle. I'm gonna attack this. Activate Conductor Tyranno. Deals 1,000. Activate Conductor Tyranno. Deals 1,000. Boral activate. Gives 500, which activates that, which I'm gonna need to chain. I'm gonna need to chain Miscellaneousaurus. Let me chain, let me chain, let me chain. No, it's already resolving. Ah! Okay. Can I not activate this in? Can only use it in the main phase. Idiot! Come on. We can still win this. Kinda. Megalo Smasher's gonna get destroyed by dry winds. Either way, he's gonna get destroyed by battle. We are not getting a good starting hand with this deck. We're not like, drawing into anything we need. Gonna have to activate Miscellaneousaurus. So next turn I can activate him again. Dry winds won't have any effect. Draw one card. I'm at least wasting, at the minimum, Jasmine's attack. Tributes off for Marjoram. Now if she gains life points, which she will from Angelica. Holy cow! I'm gonna banish cards in my grave. I want her to target Giant Rex. Overwrite. Yes! Activate Giant Rex. Hit the field. We got 5 monsters banished right now. We're at 2,600. Angelica's going to banish herself. Oh, she's gonna special summon herself. And then they're gonna synchro again to go 2,700 into Marjoram, who is 2,200 plus a 500 boost from the field spell. We always seem to come up just short with this deck. It's really starting to bother me. I really want to know this deck too. I'm really vibing to this music. I don't know why. So she set the other one. Yeah, we're getting swept here. We still have Miscellaneous' effect. We're now at a 4,000 life point at disadvantage though. Let's set rotation. This is gonna help big time. Get rid of their field spell. That don't matter. That doesn't matter in the slightest. Pay 1,000 special summon an aroma from your grave. What? Let's give her our Dino Field spell. Let's take Mystic Mine. Gonna activate Miscellaneous. 4 cards. 1, 2, 3. Made sure to let's grab Giant Rex, put him in play. Our other Giant Rex should activate. Yes. What you gonna do? Pay more life points? Minus 3,400. That's fine. It's now a tie in the life point department. Let's flip up Mystic Mine. Let's take out our weakest link. End turn. I'm still at a monster advantage. She just has her spell and traps to work with, and she can't replace my field spell. I mean, thank you. You just cost your life monsters 500 attack points. I thought you couldn't replace it if they were still set. Alright. Must Wins activates. Target 1 plant monster, shuffle it in the deck, gain 500. Ooh, in the graveyard? That's not fair. That's just gaining 500 life points with targets are Dino. Well, they can't attack and can't activate abilities. Imagine that's a Laurel. They now have the life point advantage. And we need something like Regeki, which we don't even have in our deck. If we draw into Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, that'd be insane. But I mean, they have a good trap combo. Literally all she has to do is activate that card to shuffle a card from the grave back into the deck, and then that will trigger her trap, which destroys a monster every turn. But we can break it now with Ghost Ogre. We just need a monster now. We need to draw into our last copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. That is our win condition. Because we have Giant Rex in our grave. We might have our other copy of Giant Rex in our grave. If we banish both of those... Oh, it only activates once per turn. But we still get one that's boosted 200 times 9. It's a dead card. This is not looking good here. If she has any form of spell and trap removal, we're dead. Plain and simple, we're dead. Must Wins activates. Are you targeting your own monster? I mean, she doesn't have to activate plus the other effect. Let's Ghost Ogre. Stop that right now. Dude. Could have summoned him. Now he's got human winds. I mean, I don't imagine you would activate that. This is a long, drawn-out battle right now. They're in the advantage. I'm holding on by just a little. Oh man. Aroma Jar. If this card's faced up, it can't be destroyed by battle. If this card is flipped up, during each player's end phase, you gain 500 life points. And might as well. Dude, we're freaking so hard right now. This is insane. God. Okay, at least it's a fire monster. We have to select this guy. Select this one. Put him in attack mode. And pray this card doesn't destroy us. Paying 1,000 life points to add an aroma. And if your life point is lower, you gain 500, which will trigger. No. And when Winds is going to activate, your life is going to gain her 500. We have to wait. And now it's going to trigger the other card. Rosemary. Dried Winds. And now we activate Ghost Ogre. I'm proud of that. Okay, which one do we want to hit? When your opponent monster declares an attack while your life points are lower, you can special summon an aroma monster from your deck. Okay. Gain 1,000 life points. Jasmine's effect should activate, right? It didn't. Now they gain life points. Oh! Mystic Mind saved my butt right there. Rosemary's effect is if you gain life points, you change the other monster into defense position. Currently, we're winning the deck out war, but I don't know if that's something to be proud of. Yikes. They have to have more copies of Dry Winds and stuff, right? That's just going to destroy us. Apparently, you have no spell and trap removal in that whole deck. I don't like that. If that's a copy of Dry Winds, we're screwed. I don't think we have any spell and trap removal except for Ghost Ogre. We've already used it twice. Please keep summoning monsters on the field for me. Gains 1,000 life points. don't like this. Alright. I'm not scared of it. He's going to tribute a monster and special summon another from her deck. Keep on shortening. I feel like at this point I have to go for the deck out win. We have to get rid of these Jasmines. That's gonna give him an extra 1,000 life points. What? How did he get destroyed? Okay, I have 1, 2, 3 in my grave, which is the perfect amount I need. End turn. You shouldn't have a monster ability. How are you still alive? Unless you're somehow unaffected by card effects? No. When your life points are higher than your opponent cannot target plant monsters you control with card effects. Which, she's pointing to plant monsters can't be destroyed by battle. So she's worked her way out of Mystical Mine. And right into a Bergmot. That's dangerous. Okay. That's gonna boost Bergmot up 1,000 attack points. Yikes. She can't attack! I'm saved! I still have 3 copies of Evenly Matched in my deck, which I don't even know if I want to activate them. Like, I have her locked right now. I should have got rid of Bergmot or something. What am I doing? No, I should. I'm not afraid of Bergmot anymore. I can boost up I'm not a dinosaur. Not worth it. If I battle into her, they lose their effect. Plant monsters can't be destroyed by battle. Might as well attack into our lowest monster. So the only effect that she's not under right now is that she can't battle by Mystic Mine. And the guy on the far right, Bergmot, doesn't have his ability. These two are unaffected right now. I have Lost World. We are bricking so darn hard. Gonna attack into her lowest one. Makes the most sense. If I destroy him, he's off the board. I don't want that. I want to keep my advantage. She now has a 7-card hand. She's gonna start discarding. We've won one. I'm gonna count that as a moral win. I'm counting that as a win. I think we had her locked down pretty darn good. I don't know what the rest of her cards were in her deck, but we had an extra Tyranno, which we were not drawing into apparently. God. Tyranno would have easily won us the match if we just drew into it. We would have flipped them face down, attacked right through them, and done a massive amount of life point damage. But drawing into that True King kind of held it at bay because we had one monster on the field and she couldn't do anything. I'm gonna try and find another win. I'm not having success with this deck at all. Consistently. We'll find out. This might be the end of the episode, or I'll see you guys when we win another duel. Who knows? Okay, we got the Grizz 7793 ready to battle. I like this hand. This might be our first decent hand. We're going first though. I'm doing like that. Lost World. Let's throw down Megalo Smasher. We can Fossil Dig on our next turn. Activate Lost World. Give him a nice token on his side of the field. And end our turn. Now we can only target the token with card effects. Heart of the Underdog. He's playing normal monsters. Interesting. You know, he's playing Exodia. Are you kidding? You don't think this is Exodia, right? We got Pankratops here. Metal Reflect Slime. Please keep throwing them in defense position. My boys. We just need to draw into a non-dino now. Bitch, I wish there was a good way to search for them. Where's our Oviraptor? Let's special summon out Pankratops to get over that Reflect Slime. Activate Lost World. Throw down Souleating Oviraptor. Activate my boy. Throw Overtech Codal. No, no, no! I added him to the hand instead of the grave. Activate the effect of a card. No. Sorry, we can get around this next turn. The only thing I want to do here is get rid of that Reflect Slime. Actually, let's go for his other monster. We'll get aggressive. Sangan. And it gives him a piece of Exodia. The head. You do know that you want to search. Do you think he has the head in his hand? Do you think he has the head in his hand? I shouldn't be playing around against Exodia. I should have taken out a token. He didn't draw a monster. Yeah, his thing would have activated. Right now, Pankratops can stop any Reflect Slime he puts up. Okay, I can't activate him. I summon Giant Rex onto the field. I should have activated Lost World. Succeeded in the normal summoning of a monster. Activate the effect. No. He has a response that he doesn't want. I want to go for Penta Stag. I believe. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of Oviraptor. Penta Stag. No. Let's battle. Metal Reflex Line! Why would you even flip it up? You know I can get over it. That's 2,000 piercing damage. Let's see. Once per turn, if a normal monster summoned while your opponent controls a token, you cannot target monsters on the field with card effects except tokens. Once per turn, if a normal monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect. I don't think I want to activate it. Why would you wait? Let's activate Pankratops, tribute himself. We want to get rid of Heart of the Underdog or Metal Reflect Slime off the field. We're going to lose these two. We need a way over. Look at us. Look at us. We got saved by our field spell, baby. Get the Overtech Codeless out of my hand. Activate his effect. Give me big evolution pill. And my turn. I completely forgot about the field spell. He's gonna activate Shard of Greed. It's not activate anything because Miscellaneousaurus wants to activate. He sets a card. I'm gonna assume Sangan. Although I don't remember if Sangan's limited to 1. We can now double evolution pill by banishing Codeless. And might as well go for Penta Stag, get that out of our grave. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Is this game? Activate Lost World, yes. Summon this guy in attack position. Let's attack! Ultimate Conductor Tyranno effect activates. It activates again! And again! I imagine this is Sangan. Well, which is the Black Forest? Gonna give... Why aren't you getting the head? This is game. We did it. Our deck did good for once. We had enough attack points to win. That wasn't the best opponent, but that was more fun than the last duels I've had for the last hour and a half. So here is our final deck through our changes that I made between hands. added a second copy of Megalo Smasher, took out a copy of Gizmek Kaku in that place. Alternatively, I added Utopia into the extra deck along with Gymnite Pearl for generic level 4s with more attack than these 2400 and 2300, because in every duel I always end up just short of getting over my opponent's monster, and I got tired of it. I took out a True King of All Calamities, and I took out IP Masquerena or something. But I like this deck right now. You could possibly change the amount of True King monsters, like make it 2 and 2. But other than that, I did feel in the last game, or the last 2 games, I was having trouble getting a non Dino for double big pill evolution to activate. But I mean, you could probably take out Dragonic Diagram if you really needed it. Did not draw into Foolish Burial in the last 2 hours at all. Didn't draw into DD Crow once. I drew into this guy once. He's replaceable. Easily replaceable. He did have a little brief stint of blocking special summoning in one duel, but I don't feel like that duel lasted long. I believe they quit like at turn 2, so you probably didn't see that. Extra tech wise, you'd probably throw in this guy, 1900. It's extra 800 for attacking an extra zone monster, or possibly run Beat Raptors, or a third copy of a normal monster, which surprisingly amazing with Lost World. Like, I wasn't expecting it to do that good. I was just using Lost World to summon tokens to attack in, but then he has so many extra effects for normal dinos, and it just made the card 100 times better. Well, anyway, that's our Dino deck / True King a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's enjoyable to play, a bit frustrating with the consistency I found. Probably don't need Dogoran either, but he can get you out of some situations. You just got a very small amount of situations he can get you out of though. But if you find the right situation, who knows. I hope you guys enjoyed our duel. Next, we're going to be doing Gravekeepers, and then I have Dark Worlds plus Danger. And those videos will be coming up pretty darn soon. I'll probably record them right afterwards. So I hope to see you guys in those videos, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.